Welcome to OmTimes TV, a division of OmTimes Media and Broadcasting. Welcome to the Enlightenment Academy, where the journey of discovering your inner magic begins. In a world filled with endless possibilities, we invite you to explore the depths of your being and unlock the mysteries of your true potential. Through insightful teachings, transformative practices, and enlightening conversations, we empower you to access the brilliance that resides within you. Join us as we embark on a path of self-discovery, empowerment, and spiritual awakening. Are you ready to tap into the infinite wellspring of magic within you? Here is your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, how are you today? I am so happy to be here with you. Welcome to the Enlightenment Academy. And hi, Kimberly. So nice to have you here today. Yay. I love it. Yes, if you're here with me, say hello. I love seeing your names. I love seeing people join me from all over the place. We have different places, different groups, and then of course OmTimes TV and radio. And we're so grateful for all of you that are listening now and in the future. But it's always fun to have a few people to know that I'm talking to at least somebody out there live. Hi, Diane. Hi, Robert. Welcome. So thank you. Thank you for saying hi. That's great. And this is one of those days that the lines are open for questions. Please call in if you have any questions to 202-570-7057. And you can ask me any questions you like. Call for questions, call for facilitation, call for coaching, whatever it is that you're struggling with, whatever it is spiritually that you'd like to talk about. I am here for you. So, and I love talking to people. It's fun rather than just talking to my camera all the time. So, and then today, as always, I usually use some tools from Access Consciousness. You can find out more about Access Consciousness at accessconsciousness.com. Or if I use the clearing statement and I say something really weird and you're like, I don't know if she just cast a spell on me or what, it's just the clearing statement. And you can find out more about that at theclearingstatement.com, which is an Access Consciousness tool. And today we want to talk about releasing doubt and embracing your spiritual gifts. Anybody out there, give me a thumbs up, a hand, me in the comments if you have struggled with doubting yourself and your gifts and capacities and thinking that you might actually be going crazy sometimes. Like, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You could even just put cuckoo if you think you're cuckoo sometimes. I'm in rare form today. So Diane gave me a thumbs up. She's like, yep, I think I'm crazy sometimes. Well, I'm first and foremost, I want to let you know right now, you are not crazy. And you're also not alone, right? A lot of us that have had an awakening of some sort are like, Joseph's like, cuckoo, sweet. Kimberly agrees. I'm guessing smiled. Maybe she thinks she's crazy sometimes too. When I first became a clairvoyant medium, wow, it was an interesting time. As many of you know, I didn't really have mentors, people around me, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but suddenly I see things I did not see before. So I thought I was going crazy. I definitely thought I was going crazy. And then when I started to kind of branch out a little bit, so I had a couple friends that were doing a psychic fair. They had a booth already and they're like, you should come and do some readings. And I was like, I don't do readings. I don't really know, but I'm like, I'll just come and watch you do readings and see if I learn something. And then I had somebody come up and she's like, I want a reading with you. And I was like, hello, Raquel, welcome. And I was like, no, you don't want a reading with me. You want a reading with my friends. They've been doing this for a really long time, like 20 years. I'm like, you want to do it with my friends. And they were like, she was like, no, I want a reading from you. And I was like, I'm brand new. I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, it's okay. I still want you to do it. So I sat down with her and I was like, okay, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here. Pulled some oracle cards just for something to kind of do with my hands because I was like, I don't know what to do. And then this guy walked up behind her and I was like, well, there's a man here on the right side. And I described him to her and she was like, yeah, that's my husband. He passed recently. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I was just like, I didn't even know, like, having people still in the grieving process. I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to talk to the spirits that had passed, with the people who were still grieving. But one of the things that I found very early on, and she was my first, right? Or one of my firsts, was that it's very healing for people to get messages from their departed loved ones from the other side. Because it teaches them or shows them or lets them know that the death of the physical body is not the end and that the being does live on. And it took me a long time and lots of readings and stuff for me to get out of doubt. And do I still sometimes have doubt? Absolutely. Do I still go, well, that didn't make sense at all? Yes. So okay, so we have Simon says, I need help. I just keep getting pissed off at all the world governments again, and I'm scared I will think evil thoughts in my past with included 9/11, tell my friends in Australia I was going to make the world trade collapse, and that was 6 weeks before it happened. Okay. Thank you for saying that, Simon, and I get it. Did you cause that to happen? Maybe. What another thing you could actually ask yourself is, truth, was I aware that it was going to happen and that I also wanted it to happen? Cool. But notice how even if you were aware of it and you wanted it to happen and it happened, it's still not your fault. The universe is always conspiring for us, never against us. Always. And it takes everything in our lives and shows us that there's something bigger at work here. Even the stuff we don't like, COVID, shutdowns, everybody, people dying, people getting sick, right? Like World Trade Center, not a fun time, right? But did it or did it not change some stuff? Didn't people look at things a little bit differently, right? And I'm not here to argue politics or anything like that, but what I will say is when I, back kind of maybe in my earlier days, my mom, I adore my mom. She's an amazing person. And she would also want, yeah, I get that. Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't control that part either. So Simon said, I only wanted the financial part, not my favorite buildings. Yeah. But see, when we ask for something to change, that change may have to be so dramatic for it to really change. So unfortunately, we can't control how things change if we're asking for change. Yeah, definitely. Kimberly says, be careful what we wish for. Yeah, that's in there too. But at the same time, I don't want to it's really easy to pin ourselves into I was the only one asking for that. And I'm going to tell you, you were not the only one asking for that, Simon. So there were multiple people asking for change. There was multiple people asking for change that then caused COVID, right? So there's all these things that happen in our lives that we think, oh my God, that was horrible, that's awful. But and if you look back to what it really created, how many more people like woke up and like were like, maybe I don't want to drive as much, or maybe I don't need 2 cars, or maybe, it's like I can start to see there were some countries that could actually see the mountains for the first time because the smog cleared. And did it cause some change? Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Simon. I'm glad it contributed. Absolutely. But everything is working out for us, even when we can't see how. And you can look back at your life and a great example is like, think about somebody you used to be in relationship with and you, and you're not anymore. And you're like, yeah, I'm actually really glad that didn't work out. But at the time it was painful. When we have these painful moments with the planet and the earth and like the earth, doing her thing, like massive tornadoes and floods and stuff like that. That's the earth doing her thing. And there's going to be casualties and there's going to be losses, but it will all work out in our favor in the long run, even if we can't see how in the moment. So looking at everything that's happened in your life and go, okay, it really did work out in my favor. Maybe, some of us have moments like Simon did, and maybe it's like realizing how powerful you actually are. Like you really have the capacity to change things on the planet. Now, but not making yourself wrong, because you're not the only one. There's so many people asking for change, and we have to have that like grace for that change to show up however it shows up, even if it's not comfortable or fun all the time, right? But it really is the change we've been asking for. Cool. And if anybody wants to call in and talk to me, you can. 202-570-7057. So what capacities do you have that maybe nobody else has? Like, I'm a big proponent of don't trust me, trust you. So if I say something that doesn't resonate for you or doesn't ring true for you, throw it away. If it rings true for you, it makes you feel lighter, it makes you feel better, then it's probably true for you, or it's a contribution to you, right? But this is true for everything in your life. Trust you. Don't go looking for other people to trust you or to validate you or to make you feel important. The only person that needs to have your own back is you. But we often are looking to other people to somehow say, oh, that's true, or that's, oh yeah, that resonates with me, or thank you for making me not feel crazy. If you're the only person on the planet that knows that you're not actually crazy, who's the crazy one? Ones, billions, right? Great, Raquel, it's 202-570-7057. So if you are looking at like all the other people in the world and looking to them to make sure that you're okay, and you are really the only one that needs to know that you're okay, the rest of them can be crazy. So anyway, I would really like to encourage you to start trusting what you know, trust what you see, trust what you perceive, because the other people are also not going to understand, or they're not going to get it the same way you get it, because you are you and you're going to have different experiences. It's just like if you're giving a reading to somebody and they're like, or you're talking to somebody and you have some information, let's say intuitive hits that you're like giving them. And you're like, I have these intuitive hits that this is happening and this is happening for you and blah, blah. And I'm like, cool. And they're like, I don't have a clue what you're talking about. Doesn't resonate. It's not true. This happened to me just the other day, actually. I was giving a reading and I was like, so this is kind of like the energy that you've been dealing with. And I kind of named some stuff, and she had that like look on her face, like, nah, it doesn't really make sense. And like, I was like, okay, I'm just going to trust the information coming through. I don't know what this is, but this is what I'm seeing and perceiving and what I know. Now, granted, you still have a filter. So you're going to be on point, maybe 80-20. 80% of the time you'll be on point and 20% of the time you won't be. I don't know. It's different for everybody. But when I was talking to her, and then I do the whole reading, and then at the end of the reading, I'm like, okay, do you have any questions? And she's like, no, I don't really have any questions. And then she starts talking about what's going on in her life and starts talking about what she's been dealing with and blah, blah, blah. And guess what? It was the 3 cards that I had started with in her reading. And I was like, oh, that's all 3. That's what these 3 cards were. Like, but she couldn't hear it because she had her own filters and, whatever. But then it all made sense in the end. And there's been many times that I've given people readings that I was like, I don't know why your grandmother's holding up a necklace. She's like, I've had people say, I don't know what the necklace is. I'm like, okay, well, maybe just be open to remembering something about a necklace, or that a necklace comes to you in the near future, and then you can connect the dots. But I just trust what I have to say, and I don't doubt it, because I know that I'm just the messenger, and that whatever information is meant to come through, or whatever information they're meant to hear, is the stuff that they'll remember. The stuff that they aren't meant to hear or doesn't make sense to them, they won't even remember it. So I just keep trusting and keep, kind of throwing myself in to the pit all the time, just being like, okay, I'm just going to keep trusting. And yeah, there are times that I delivered information that made no sense to anybody. I was like, okay, that's okay. Right. But that willingness to be wrong, even, right? The willingness to just be like, okay, I've got information, and I don't, maybe it's not even for this person, but that's okay. Right? So it's a practice, and it's a willingness to just be like, doubt is a distractor implant. In Access Consciousness, we have these things, distractor implants. And a distractor implant is literally taking you out of the present moment and distracts you from what's actually in front of you. So if you suddenly are like delivering a message and it doesn't make sense to the person that you're talking to, then all of a sudden you go to doubt, are you actually present with them, or are you now like backpedaling or trying to like explain it so that maybe they understand it better? Or do you get the kind of the problem with that? Instead, just be like, okay, doubt is not, it's judgment, and it stops the flow of the energy. It stops the flow of the information even. So you just be like, doubt, oh well. POC-POD is the abbreviation of the clearing statement. You just be POC-POD, let it go, throw it in the fire, whatever sorts of practices you have to let something go. But just knowing that the minute doubt comes in, it's going to distract you from what you're doing presently. It's going to distract you from the information. It's going to distract you from the flow. It's going to distract you from the fun and the ease and the play of the present moment that is right now. And Simon had a great example. Like he was doubting what had happened all those years ago. Like, did I do that? Right? But if he's always in the past, worried about something maybe he did or didn't do, or was contributing to it, is he able to enjoy the present moment? Simon, are you able to enjoy the present moment? So letting that go and just being like, okay, I'm just going to trust that worked out in favor of everyone for some reason, even if I can't see how. And maybe you won't know until you leave the body, and maybe even then you won't know. But maybe someday, some lifetime, somewhere, you'll have this awareness of like, oh, that's why that happened. Perfect. I understand it now. Right. But like dwelling on it and focusing on it and trying to figure out why something happened is just more doubt that takes you out of the present moment. So I hope that makes sense. And let me see. It's so strange. I don't care what others think of me, but yet I care about the doubt in my gifts when looking for others' validation. Yes, right. Because again, you're looking to somebody else to say, I believe you, or you have that, or whatever. And if you need that, if you need somebody to say, I believe in you, I'm just going to tell you all right now that are watching now and in the future, I believe in you. I believe in your gifts and capacities. I believe in what you've experienced, all of it. I don't doubt anything that you can tell me. I've met Jesus a couple times. Like I don't doubt people's experiences, even if they don't make sense in my brain, right? So, yeah, I'll get to questions in just a second. Yeah, cool. And then me too, when I did the phone for a few psychic clients. Okay, awesome. Sending contributions to your sweet body, Simon. I think that's your SI joint, maybe. Dealing with SI today. Yep, feel the same way, Kimberly. Okay, great. Exciting news. We have a caller. Rocky, go for it.
I have so I can see my spirit guides, but we can't communicate. And I that's, a little bit frustrating. But I know that this has been a bit faster. What's going on. Because you've been with me since the beginning. So it's been a little fast, and I'm just wanting to know what other ways that I can talk with them. Like the other day I heard, I think, I'm not, because there's a lot of them with me right now. I heard like a yell, but it was very, very faint. And then I couldn't hear anything. Like that was the first time, and I was so excited, but then heard nothing. So I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously they're trying to get our attention. You will be able to perceive them in whatever way you can handle right now. So if you're just able to see them, then that's the way that they're going to come through. For the longest time, I couldn't hear my guides either. I could only see them. So we played charades a lot because I knew I had my own block around hearing, and I just wasn't ready for because when it first happened, I heard a voice outside my head, and I was like, no, I don't want that. Because they were talking separately for me, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready for that. So, but you'll get the capacities and gifts when you're ready. One of the ways that I find can be really helpful is automatic writing. Like take a pen and a piece of paper and just sit down and let them and just say, speak to me through the words on the paper, and then just try that.
Oh, I haven't ever heard of that. Okay, I'll put that down.
Okay, awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's the kind of questions I have. If you have any, let me know.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, Rocky. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Awesome. And then just a note of, it just came to me one day, if we stop comparing ourselves to other people, we will stop doubting ourselves. The doubt comes from a big component of doubt comes from the comparison of others, especially when it comes to your spiritual gifts and how they're manifesting. And you look at somebody else and you're like, oh, they can speak to spirits or they can hear spirits. And Simon says he uses tarot cards that helped him. Yeah, I use tarot cards too. But if you're looking to somebody else's gifts and capacities and being like, oh, that's how it's showing up for them, it should show up that way for me, then that you're in doubt and comparison, right? And judgment kills what's possible. Judgment stops the flow of energy. Judgment stops the downloads, right? But if you want something to get even greater, like Rocky, you just mentioned, you're like, I heard a screaming voice and you were really excited. Awesome. Be grateful that you heard that screaming voice instead of focusing on, I didn't hear anything after that. Be like, okay, I heard something. I'm super grateful. I hear that. I'm grateful that I heard that. Now, what else is possible? How does it get even better? Great questions we have in Access Consciousness. What else is possible here? Can I have more of that, please? Like, just keep asking the universe, going, okay, I had that experience and I'd like some more, please. But I'd also really just like to invite you to stop comparing yourself to other people. You're different. You're you. The universe needs you to be you. The universe doesn't need you to be a clone of me or anybody else, right? And it's just not going to show up the same way for you as it did for somebody else. It's not going to happen the same way it did for you as somebody else. You know, some people like channel spirits. I can channel spirits too, but like Abraham's a great example, right? It's like, okay, she leaves, Abraham comes in, Abraham talks. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Abraham Hicks. Probably most of you have. But great messages from Abraham, this collective energy and resources of Abraham, right? But how I channel messages from spirit is different than that. I don't leave the building. Basically, I don't vacate completely. So how do you experience it? How do you experience your readings and gifts and capacities? And, you know, what gift are you to the world that nobody else can be? Because nobody else is you. We're going to take a short break. But if you'd like to call in, I'd love to answer some questions on the other side. If you have any, 202-570-7057. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
OmTimes TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. OmTimes Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, OmTimes offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an OmTimes magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on OmTimes TV and broadcasting it across the extensive OmTimes radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. OmTimes. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Welcome forward, everyone. Happy to be here again with you. So we've been talking about doubt and embracing your spiritual gifts. And it's going to be different. Thank you, Kimberly. You too. It's going to be different for everybody. How do your gifts show up for you? What is it like? Are you perceiving energies? Are you feeling energies? Are you seeing them? Are you hearing them? Are you tasting them or smelling them? Like, have you ever had somebody, like you're walking down and you're walking around maybe somewhere inside a building or something and you suddenly smell like roses? Or another common one can be like cigarettes. Did you know that those can often be entities? But we write it off like, oh, somebody must be smoking nearby, or somebody must be have perfume on or nearby. Yeah, probably. But maybe it's not somebody with a physical body. Maybe it's somebody in a spiritual body. So what are you aware of that maybe nobody else is aware of? And I touched on it a little bit before, but I just wanted to bring it up again. I would like to challenge you to be willing to just be wrong. If we're not out there trying to be perfect all the time, get it right all the time, it's just there's that doubt comes in when you're suddenly like comparing, but where you think that somehow you might be wrong or you're trying to be right. What if there was no right or wrong, good or bad? There was just choice, and there was just being aware, tapping into your awareness, or ignoring your awareness. You're not wrong if you ignore your awareness, but you could potentially tap into your awareness and be like, I'm aware of something that sounds completely crazy. So I have an example for you. So years and years and years ago, and I'm fairly certain it was another lifetime or whatever, but I really truly believed I could breathe underwater. Now, granted, I didn't go test it in this lifetime, not completely. Like I didn't try to take a breath underwater, but I would hold my breath underwater for a very long time. But there was something in me that just knew. I was like, I know I could breathe underwater. And then I was like, years later, I was like, was I a mermaid in another lifetime, or was this another planet or whatever? It doesn't matter. But I actually do know that it's possible. Now, does that sound crazy to a lot of people? Absolutely. Do I tell a lot of people that? Not usually, although I just aired it on television. So yeah, it might be a past life. But regardless, it's like that willingness to be like, okay, so what? I believe I can breathe underwater. Maybe it wasn't this lifetime, but I could do it, right? But there's stuff like that we write off because it sounds too crazy or it's too weird or nobody else is talking about it. And yeah, that's true. And I would be careful about who you talk to about stuff, because I believe in talking to people that are going to uplift you and encourage you and have your back, right? Remote viewing is a different psychic connection, and then clairvoyant is how many practices. Yep, past life. We've all been in different worlds. Yeah, we have, and thousands of lifetimes. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm also a hypnotherapist, and I've done a lot of past life regression, and that can be one of the ways that you can tap into some past lives if you'd like to. Kimberly says, I tried remote viewing a long time ago, visited a poker game of a guy I was living with at the time successfully. That's awesome. Yep. Remote viewing is a way of being able to see something that's going on somewhere else. Some people have this experience, like they'll go to bed and then they'll like go out and see their parents' television, right? But they weren't necessarily in their physical bodies, but they were watching the television from their spiritual bodies. The cool thing is that this is all true and all possible and absolutely a capacity. The problem that most people run into is they share these gifts that they're aware that they have when they're very, very young, and their parents squash it out of them. They literally tell them it's not possible. You can't do that. Nobody, and we've all had that where we kind of shut down what we could do because somebody told us we couldn't do it. And that's why I'm like, don't talk about this stuff with anybody who's going to tell you you can't do that or disempower you or not believe in you. only share with those people that it's safe and that you know that they're at least going to have your back. Now, they may not be able to relate to what you're saying, but that's okay. They don't have to like believe everything you're saying, but I do believe in having the people around you that uplift you and care for you and support you and empower you. So without further ado, I would like to jump into our guided visualization this week. Thank you all of you who came and chatted with me and commented and asked questions. It's always nice to have you here, and I hope that was a contribution to you in some way. And we will do a little bit of our meditation now. So finding a comfortable seat. We're going to go on a fun little journey today. So closing your eyes, not if you're driving. Feel your feet on the floor. Soften and relax your feet, your ankles, your shins, your calves. Breathe in. Exhale out. Relax your knees, your thighs, your hamstrings. Breathe in. Exhale out. Relax your hips, your waist, your stomach, your low back. Breathe in. Exhale out. Relax your chest, your upper back, your shoulders, your arms, all the way down to your fingertips. Breathe in. Exhale out. Relaxing your neck, your head, your scalp, your jaw, your nose, your eyelids, your cheeks, your forehead. Breathe in. Exhale out. Relaxing from the crown of your head all the way down to your fingertips and your toe tips. Breathe in. Exhale out. And standing on the edge of a forest, there's a little bit of a mist. But this forest leads you to the coastline. There's a path. You're standing on the path. Breathe in. Exhale out. You're going to walk down the path, counting back from 7, entering into the forest, 6, walking through the forest, noticing the smell of the forest. Feel the mist in the air. 5, 4. You're coming up onto the coastline, coming through the forest. Maybe you hear the water as it reaches the shore. 3, 2, and 1. The mist begins to lift. The fog is going away. And down the coastline, you see your spirit animal walking towards you. And you greet your spirit animal as they come near you. And you look into their eyes, and you receive this message from them. They're speaking to you telepathically. Somehow you just know what they're trying to tell you, what they want you to know. And allow that to soak in. Allow that energy of contribution and kindness and empowerment that they have for you to touch every fiber of your being, to reach every cell. And when you've received their message, thank them. And you notice that behind them, there is also walking up a spirit guide. And when the spirit guide comes up to you, you hug and they embrace you with all the love and compassion, kindness. That is who you really are. It is who they really are. There are no walls and no barriers. There's just you and them and your animal spirit guide. And your spirit guides, both of them, they have something they want to show you. So you walk with them down the coast, down the beach. And you find yourself at a doorway. Maybe it's a doorway in the rock, maybe it's a cave, or maybe it's a building. Whatever it is, trust you, trust what you're aware of. And they invite you inside, and they go with you. You are safe, you are protected, you are loved. And as you step inside, there's this really, really bright light. And this bright light, you just feel drawn to it. You're not sure why, you're not sure what it is. You just feel drawn to this energy, this light. And as you get closer to this light, you begin to see a form of something. This is what your spirit guides wanted you to see. and you take a closer look at it. Maybe it's a book that you pull off the shelf, or it's a crystal, or whatever it is for you. What is it that they wanted you to see? And then ask them, what does this mean? What do you want me to know about this? And maybe you'll hear them say something, but more than likely it will be more of an inner knowing, or just a perception, an idea. Trust your awareness. Trust what you're getting, even if it's very far-fetched and it doesn't seem to make sense right now. And then thank them. Thank them for this information. Thank them for the message. Thank them for showing you this. And thank them for the encouragement. And they may have given you the confirmation of this right away, or you may experience a confirmation of this message, of this information, of this knowing in the near future. Just stay open to it, letting go of doubt. And ask them to just make it really clear what it was that they wanted you to know about this. And then you see yourself, there's a cave, or if you were already in a cave, maybe the cave goes a little farther back. And you find yourself walking back deeper into the cave, into this hallway, however it's manifesting for you. And you see this beautiful waterfall falling in. This waterfall is the most crystalline blue water. It is so beautiful, and it's sparkling and transcendent, like this twinkle. As the light bounces off the water. And this water fountain, this waterfall, is a place of cleansing for you. A place of release and let go, a place of purification. And when you're ready, you step into the waterfall and just allowing the water to flow over you, to wash over you, washing away impurities, washing away doubt, washing away struggle, washing away fear. It's washing away pain and suffering and gory and all the things that make this life hard for you. Just allow it to be washed away, cleansed and purified. this can be a beautiful life for you. If you would just let go of doubt and trust that the universe is conspiring for you and has your back. But if there's stuff that you've been wanting to let go of or would have been asking to release, maybe stuck energies in your body or stuck energies in your mind, allow the water to just wash it away. Let that beautiful, energetic waterfall wash through your entire body and being, cleansing every fiber of your being, every cell, washing in between every molecule and every atom, every cell, letting this beautiful translucent water of energy just flow over you and around you and in you and through you, as if it could wash away all of the dark spots, all of the darkness, all of the doubt, all of the fear. And just allow this water to bring this beautiful, calm energy to your body and being. Knowing that you are supported, that you are held, that you are not alone. Feel how much more relaxed your body and being are. Your mind is relaxed. And cleansed and purified and relaxed. You step out of the pool and the waterfall. Your spirit guides are still there with you. Notice how everything in the cave, in this space, seems brighter somehow, more colorful, more vibrant, more alive than ever before. And you walk back through the other space that you first entered into. And does the space seem more alive and more vibrant and more detailed even? And you come out of the cave, out of that space and back onto the shore. Hugging your spirit guides, thanking them for their contribution to you. You find yourself back on the forest trail, 5. Coming back up the trail, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fully alert, back in your body. Remembering everything and coming back to the present moment, opening your eyes, maybe noticing, is everything just a little bit different, a little bit brighter, a little bit more you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. I am so incredibly grateful. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Have a great week. Bye.